going on, my friends? For today's video, we're taking a look at my modified Seiko Atlas or Landshark. I think this is a really cool looking watch, and I think it's an underdog. I could be wrong. All I know is that in my social network or in my group of watch collectors, I never really see this watch ever. And I think that's a shame because, again, it's so cool. I really like the dual crown system. I'm not a fan of the interior rotating compass bezel, but that's just a personal preference. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. So like I said, it is modified. I did install a stainless steel bezel insert. Very easy modification to do. If you're really liking this style, just reach out to me, send me an email, or write down in the comment section and we can talk about it. It's super easy to do. But going over my normal talking points for price, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll put it on the screen. I think it was hovering around $200, and then the bezel insert cost another $25 or so. I got it from Crystal Times USA, which I think is a great Seiko mod store. I'm not sponsored by them. I just use them frequently because I find that their prices are better than other mod shops like Namoki Mods. And of course, I'll have the link in the description below if you're interested in it. But all in all, I think total cost out the door to get this result was, to me, more than reasonable. And real quick, let's take a look at the dimensions. I'll have those on the screen for you. Feel free to pause at any time and you can see if those numbers are right for your wrist or not. I think this is a perfectly reasonably sized watch. It might be a little bit thick, but you know, actually, you know what? I don't think it's thick at all. I think for what it is perfectly sized in all aspects. And just to go over some general info, for the internal engine, you're getting a 7S26 movement. That's not a bad movement. I would have preferred something a little bit more modern, at least, you know, a 4R36, because the 7S26 isn't bad, it's just old. And you know, this is such a cool looking watch. I would have liked at least hand winding. So for those of you that don't know, the 7S26 does not have the hand winding capability. It is an automatic watch, so if you put it on, the rotor is going to spin and charge up the mainspring, but you cannot manually hand wind it. To me, that is a downside. It's a negative, but you know, the movement's going to be fine. It's going to do everything that you need it to do. I would have just preferred hand winding. And then for the hardware, you do have the 120 click unidirectional bezel here, a Rolex crystal on the inside, and then you've got that internal rotating compass bezel, superior Seiko lume on all the indices, screw down crown right here, and then a screw down case back. And all this is going to give you 200 meters of water resistance. So very standard for what we're used to from Seiko. I think that's a perfectly good thing. You know, don't fix what's not broken. And here you're getting a great watch that can handle pretty much anything. Now let's go ahead and just take a close-up on that dial. I think everything here is very cool. I like the hands, I like the second hand, I like the day-to-day complication and how everything is presented. You know, I'm sure there are some ways you could perfect it or fine-tune it a little bit, but overall, without getting too in-depth with it, I think it's perfectly fine. The presentation here looks clean and sharp. And then let's take a look at the Lumeshot here. I've never had any issues with Seiko lume. It's always 10 out of 10, superior quality, and that is no different here with the Atlas. Now going over the bezel, I really like it. Practically and functionally, it's good. You got 120 clicks here, and you know, it's buttery smooth. Everything lines up, and I've really got no complaints with that aspect of the bezel. But aesthetically, I think it is just so awesome. I love this knurled texturing here. For me, a watch cannot have enough knurled texturing, and the fact that they have it here on the bezel is fantastic. As far as alignment goes, I've not had any alignment issues here. However, take that with a grain of salt because I aligned this bezel insert myself. I cannot remember if the original bezel insert was aligned or not. Now going over the crowns, like I was talking about with the knurled texturing on the bezel, the crowns also have a beautiful knurled texturing, and I think that is the coolest thing ever. Not enough watches have knurled crowns, and if you ask me, they could all take a page from the Atlas's book here, because this is just a fantastic overall package. Something about knurled texturing makes a watch look very professional, sleek, industrial, and tough, and I think that definitely rings true here. As far as the functionality goes, or operations, so for the compass bezel, it's great, it feels smooth, doesn't feel flimsy. It is going to move on you though, so throughout the day, you know, if you, for whatever reason, happen to use this compass bezel for anything, it is going to move from the position that you set it at. As far as the main crown goes, it's awesome, solid, threaded very tightly. Well, it's threaded precisely, but very easy to operate and use, and I've got no complaints here. I think this is one of the better crowns that I've experienced from Seiko. And then going to that underside, looking at that case back, screw down case back. I really like the style. I like that there is a little bit of a 3D depth to it, and the fact that it's a screw down case back is even better. Nothing crazy here. You've got the Seiko 5 logo, and I think it looks nice. And for the bracelet, nothing to write home about. Standard Seiko bracelet. It is a dual push button deploying clasp, stamped steel, and I really like this style. It's classy, it's a proven formula, and you can't go wrong with it. With the safety tab right here with the Seiko logo on it, I think it looks good. This is one of those watches or bracelets that you don't have to worry about, you know? Even if it has some scuffs and scratches on it, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look like a working watch, and I like that. And then for fit and finish, there's nothing glamorous here. Like I said before, working watch. I think this is the working man's watch. This is a watch that you're gonna put on, you're gonna thrash about, put it on your desk, not worry about it. You're not gonna baby this at all. And I think that finishing is really conducive to that lifestyle. You've got not too much high polish, if any, you know, maybe along the beveled edges here, which I think is perfect. That is where high polish belongs. Everything else is either a matte finish or a brushed finish. And I think how they executed here is fitting. Now just going over my overall thoughts, I absolutely love this watch, and I don't understand why it isn't more popular. I get that, you know, maybe it could be an acquired taste, and I also have sort of I've got a funky taste in watches that don't really align with the rest of the watch community, and I'm okay with that, and maybe that's a good thing, because that means every watch that I have is going to be a little bit different from what everyone else has. But if your style is similar to mine, then I don't see why you wouldn't get this watch. It's such a cool watch, definitely within budget for most watch collectors. This isn't your typical super overpriced, like $1,000 Seiko with a misaligned bezel. Like, this is a typical Seiko you can find on Amazon that, you know, has deals every once in a while, and it looks clean, it looks cool, and it's definitely fun. So in my mind, like, that's a done deal. So anyways, that's my opinion. You know, it's a great watch. You don't have to baby it. It's a working watch, a watch that you can wear every single day. And ideally you should, so that way you don't have to hand wind it. But long story short, I've had nothing but fun with this great little watch. And I like it even more with that modified steel bezel insert. And that's another great thing about Seikos. You know, the mod community is so expansive for most Seiko watches. And so you can really get any one of them and just make it your own. Oh, I forgot to mention, the bezel insert I got is for a regular SKX. So, you know, these bezel inserts are compatible with the other ones. So even if you don't like this steel bezel insert, you can look at, you know, the hundreds, if not thousands of other SKX bezel inserts available and put something crazy on there, something really funky and different. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got to say for the Atlas or Landshark. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. I wasn't trying too hard to really review it. I just wanted to show it off, and hopefully you were able to see it in different angles of light and you know, some wrist shots here and there so you can see it sort of in action. But other than that, that's all I got to say. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.